Coming up today on EVERNET Reviews, we have Raphael Lopez, Vice President of Product at Zola Suite, a leader in practice management software. We're talking about SMS texting and HotDocs integration right from Zola Suite. Those are two new features not yet released, but forthcoming, as well as we get into client portals. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Eric here from EVERNET. You're watching EVERNET Reviews, where we spotlight and showcase products and features of products that we think are relevant to you. Today we have Raphael Lopez, the Vice President of Product at Zola Suite. I'm really excited to have him here today. We have done a preview or an overview of Zola before, so Raphael's focus today will be on some new features or existing features and a deeper look. So he'll tell us more what he has. So before we get started, I do like to follow kind of each video as its own container. So Raphael, if you don't mind, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do for Zola?
Yeah, thank you, Eric. Raphael Lopez, mentioned VP Product of Zola Suite. I've had the pleasure of working on this product with this team. I'm going to celebrate 7 years.
Wow.
Early next year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Have had a wonderful journey with the team. I joined on board as a quality engineer. I'm back when we initially went to market. Our founder, Fred Cohen, had a great vision and some contagious energy. And I was given the opportunity to help manage product and have been doing so. So my role and responsibilities are getting out there, talking to our customers, talking to our partners, better understanding some of the pain points and the issues that we can solve today, wrapped around a beautiful cloud technology application as in Zola Suite.
Wow, that's exciting. You got into it right at the right time when people use the term cloud, but I always try to, in vain, make the distinction between cloud and web. Do you guys ever talk about the distinction between that?
Yeah, so that was as I was getting to understand the legal industry, that was one thing that was made clear on day one, that Zola Suite from its inception was a true cloud platform, leveraging cloud technology and scalability, and not, we're not in a scenario where you have web access, like you mentioned, to a solution where you have a privately hosted application on the back end.
Right. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So just so we're being complete in our summary of Zola, can you give us a quick overview of what Zola Suite is and who the typical customer is?
Yeah, absolutely. Zola Suite, as mentioned, cloud solution that offers end-to-end practice management solution. What I mean by that is, from the prospective phase, we have our CRM, when you can convert that into a retained matter, all the way through the last invoice and even the last payment, captured all within the single source of truth that is Zola Suite. Our typical customers are going to be anywhere from the 5, I'd say, to 50 user range. And we have firms that are larger than that, as well as smarter than that, but definitely would be any firm with that kind of growth mindset, looking to leverage technology to increase their productivity.
Great. And the next question is usually, what problem, I guess, would you say Zola Suite solves? Which I think you just answered, but if you want to take another stab at that.
Yeah, absolutely. We see firms approaching us having a suite of different applications that they're using to manage their practice. A CRM, that's one software, practice management somewhere else, and the two are not integrated. Then you have your back office team, maybe even a third option. You can even take it further, and they have an on-premise document management system, or they have a self-hosted, public drive that they're sharing with. So what we do is offer one solution where we can import, take all that in, and remove those silos from the front office to the back office.
Very cool. And so I like to say, I like to ask, what separates Zola from the competition, would you say? Again, it seems like you just answered that, but if you want to take another shot at that.
Yeah, I'd say from a capabilities perspective, very robust. And I'd say on the cloud space, there are not many that have the native accounting platform integrated with it. And we wrap that around a very easy to use user interface. And that's one thing that we see with prospects on that initial demo or the trial, just how simplistic it is to use.
Very cool.
We just, in the most recent G2 survey, we're ranked #1 in highest customer satisfaction rating. And that's a nod not just to the product, but also to the support, onboarding, training, and surrounding services.
Great. And who would you say your competition is?
Yeah. So I would say that anyone in the cloud space would be a competitor, absolutely. When we're looking at cloud providers with integrated accounting, definitely want to tip my hat to Centerbase, is one that we have come up with in the past, as well as my case with the recent acquisition and integration with Soluno. So I
Nice.
would say that those are kind of the main players in the space. Of course, we'll come across with competitors such as Clio, but I think our typical customer, they're looking to consolidate softwares. So they're looking for, kind of that all-in-one approach.
So, a little inside baseball. Zola Suite is owned by, and correct me where I'm wrong, Zola Suite is owned by parent company Abacus Next.
Yes, we had a merger back in the summer of 2021. So we're another
21.
product under that portfolio of solutions.
And in Abacus's own right, they have perhaps three products that could quote unquote be seen as kind of competing to each other.
Yes, so there's Abacus Law, the original flagship product. I think it was in development for celebrating almost 30
Yeah,
years now.
I remember supporting it many years ago.
Amicus Attorney,
Yep.
and Amicus Cloud.
Yep. I used to be an Amicus certified consultant back in the aughts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, I just wanted to give a nod to the parent company, and from are you able to? And again, this is kind of off in a side tangent, but just to give it kind of background, are you guys leveraging any resources or cross sharing, or is there a real kind of a silo effect happening with each brand and product? Are you guys having any sort of cross team meetings or anything like that? Is there any value to that?
Yeah, no, definitely the former. So, we're seeing a lot of focus on Zola Suite as a kind of go forward strategy when we think of the legal summit. And there's a lot to learn from our sister products in Abacus Law and Amicus Attorney. So, the great benefit there is some of the partners like yourself, Eric, who we're servicing and supporting and implementing Amicus Attorney. We have some great intel there on how we can leverage some of the wins there.
Yeah,
With Zola Suite. So a lot of learnings, and it definitely helps being part of a larger engineering organization. So there's some resources there that we've been benefiting from since the initial merger.
that's great. That's great. But certainly, Zola has a bright future unto itself, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Good. So that's a housekeeping. Thank you again for joining me. I'm thrilled. Zola's a great partner of ours. We are really recommending the Zola Suite family of products, and I couldn't thank you enough for coming on with me.
Yeah.
So okay, so we already know. So for those of you who've already seen my video with Fred, he already gave us kind of the high view of Zola Suite. So today, what do you want to show us? What do you want to show us for today?
Yeah, so a couple of things that are kind of right around the bend. One of our upcoming releases that I wanted to tease with our audience here today. One item is going to be a in-app native client texting feature. It's going to allow firms to text their clients as well as prospective clients right within the application. We have as well an integration with HotDocs Advanced that we're looking to launch. And HotDocs has a name for itself in the industry. Really kind of industry leading document automation. So
Right.
we're taking that component, that robust templating, and using all of the data that sits within Zola Suite to generate very complex templates. And wanted to talk a little bit about our client portal options and how that can be leveraged as we think end-to-end practice
Client
management.
portals. I love client is an unsung hero, if you ask me.
Mm.
Okay, cool. So you have an in-app texting feature, HotDocs integration, and some client portal stuff. Now, are all these live features today, or are we getting a sneak peek before they go public, or where are they in the
Yeah.
development?
So aside from the client portal, the HotDocs integration, client texting are imminent releases. I'll call it that. So we're getting a sneak preview
Ooh,
before the public gets access.
we feel privileged here at EVERNET, so we're excited. We're excited to get a sneak peek of these. What would you say the release target is for these?
Yeah, I'll say we're looking to make a splash before the end of the year on these
Okay.
items. So I'll tease it as that. And then we got some great things in store for 2023.
Oh, that's exciting. I love release cycles. Cool. All right. So as the audience knows, we always like to actually get our hands on this stuff. So are you prepared to share?
Yeah.
All right, great. So let me just bring up your video here and yeah, take us through it. What do we got?
Absolutely. So, as you can see, we're logged into an instance of Zola Suite. I know you mentioned, Eric, that Fred did a kind of an overall demo of the application. You may notice some kind of new elements. One in the top right, you're going to see there's a new option for the texting dashboard. You'll see at the top we have one unread message.
I love it.
So selecting on this is going to take you into our texting dashboard. So this is kind of going to be your home base where you're going to be able to see all of the messages that you as the logged in user have permission to. Want to reiterate that this goes back to the matter level permissions that I think Fred touched upon, or the group level permissions. So if you have ethical walls in place for your firm, you would only be able to see the conversations that you as the logged in user would have access to.
Excellent.
Few things I want to point out: the client texting feature is going to be available on all of our packages. We offer our core, enterprise, and enterprise plus features, and our pricing is available directly on our website, so everyone will have access to it. And it's going to be a seamless in-app onboarding. You just need to specify which area code you would like. You will be administered a firm phone number, and that's what will be used and sent from. And really the thought process here, instead of having attorneys have to use their own mobile devices, you're going to have this all centralized, all governed within Zola Suite itself.
So one phone number to represent all correspondences for the entire firm?
Exactly.
And so you guys use some sort of parsing and routing on your gateway to make sure that the communication is routed to the right matter and the right people, right eyes?
Yeah, exactly. So that's where the permissions are going to come into play. Today in Zola Suite, this falls into the permissions that are already instated today. Going into the matters, I'll go for a quick second. Going into the option section, users can set permissions for a matter, applying them to individual users, granting them access, or groups. So if you break out your different the practice areas that you support into different teams, you can give permission to a full team, which then has users within it, or you can apply a one-off user to have access.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, going back to the texting feature, a couple nice things I'd like to point out is you'll see we have read statuses on the left and right. As a creator of a conversation, you will be subscribed by default to the conversation. That way, when you log in, you'll be notified of conversations you are subscribed to that have updates. What I think is a really powerful feature is, as another user in the matter, you may not be sending messages back and forth, but you simply want to subscribe to it. All you have to do is select this notification icon over there, so you can kind of big brother it and see what's going on without being directly involved.
So everybody knows I can't help myself. Do you mind if I ask a couple questions along the way?
Yeah, absolutely.
So do you see that one thing that I see across, I deal with practice management softwares across many industries, heavily in legal. We use a practice management software tailored to our industry as well. And actually the common thing that I see missing is a internal notifications feature like the speech bubble you show at the top right there. Do you see so two questions, I guess. The first question is, do you see a value or potential future of transforming into a global notification zone or region where an inbound email message it gets a badge counter there? Or if somebody leaves a note on a matter that I'm assigned to or party to, that I would get a badge counter. So just kind of that real-time activity, or am I barking up the wrong tree?
No, you're absolutely spot on. We're seeing this as kind of like the foundation for kind of a feature of that. I think that'd be a little bit more of a down the road item. We definitely want to solve the initial need on the texting side, but we see this as an opportunity of being able to tag, areas where you want to have an update. And as you log in, and we do have, I do want to call out an activity log that gives you a very robust view of everything that's going on, but maybe filter that out for just the items that you really want to focus in on,
especially some communication items, right? So that's interesting. And then, okay, so the second question is, obviously you guys spent time on building this feature. Being texted by my attorney would be compelling and interesting to engage in that way. A lot of people who engage attorneys tend to be mature people with assets and interests and things. Do you get any feedback that says, like, my clients don't want text messages from me?
Yeah, so I've actually heard of the opposite. In my conversation where our customers, Yeah, I think it differs from pre-retention to when they're a matter. I see on the lead side, they want to be talking to their prospects as quickly as possible and as efficiently. In certain practice areas, you have a really small window to win the business, and some firms are looking at this communication method as a way to do that.
Oh, right.
As matters are created, I've heard of some firms just keeping up with the technical age of the consumer. They want to have that access, and they want to be able to, in certain scenarios, just to send that text message and maybe save email for a different conversation thread.
Right. So you are seeing this so you're developing this for both the CRM side of the house and the service delivery side of the house.
Exactly.
Okay. And for that matter, billing. I mean, is there any, hey, your invoice is ready to be paid, click here, and goes to a payable invoice, or
Yeah, so I think not for this initial release. We have a great feature called our bulk billing system, and what this does is allows firms in mass to today you can bulk print or email the invoices with a payment link straight from Zola Suite. The texting option that's an interesting area
Hmm.
that I'd love to see. What's the appetite there to receive a hey, you have a new invoice in your portal? And then
right.
you as a contact or a client, as intake, you can say, I want to receive this via text message.
Or maybe like an overdue invoice engine, right?
Mhm.
That accounting can say like just automatically send a text message with a link to unpaid invoices after 30 days unpaid or something to that effect.
Yes, some sort of dunning capability. So yeah, I'm seeing text messaging becoming, it used to be kind of a nice to have.
Mm,
Moving towards sort of a, you need to have that flexibility, and really your solution should have the flexibility to, enable that when you as a firm are maybe ready to. So it's always
right.
going to be available. It'll be
Right.
there. It's included on every single package. So I think as we see where texting goes and the use cases there, we want to make sure that we have the capability live and present.
I love it. Very, very cool. So sorry, I didn't mean to derail us. Just get us back on track.
Yeah, so looking into the section over here, I'm gonna just jump into the Matter dashboard just to show a different view of the similar interface. So here inside of the Matter dashboard, you're gonna have a filtered view to see just the conversations that are related to the matter that you're in. You can type in a new message, select send, it'll send it right over instantly. And on the receiving end, you'll see that notification pop up as soon as an item comes in. Do want to call out that we do support sending group conversations. It'll only support SMS messages initially, so things like videos or images won't be available on the initial launch, but something we're looking to circle back in after
You
the
got to get those gifs in or gifs in there. You got to get those
the emojis.
emojis in there.
So yeah, that we're gonna circle back with. So for the initial launch, it'll be SMS supported on the Matter, and I'll jump into a lead for a second, which is very similar. We'll have a dedicated text messaging tab where you can manage the information right over there.
That's very cool. And now the recipient on the other side of the text message, do they have an opt out feature?
Yeah, so they can reply back, stop, and then that's going to then, null and void the conversation. All the data will remain intact in the practice management system, but you won't be able to send them an additional message outside of that initial one.
What does the Zola user see anything in the event that they opt out? Like they send that stop command? Is there a hard coded the user cannot override that with another text, or how does that work?
Great question. So yeah, they'll see the stop text message coming back in. I think for this initial launch, there's not going to be anything to kind of indicate or show or be able to filter. I think that's one of the items that as we get initial feedback out, we definitely have intention on firming up.
Sure. What else?
Yeah,
Keep us going. Sorry, I don't mean to ask the questions and derail us, but keep going.
yeah, no issues at all. Yeah, I kind of mentioned it earlier in the firm settings option. Just to get started, there's going to be a dedicated client texting tab. We're already integrated, so you're able to see the phone number that you're registered with. If you're not currently registered, there's going to be an option just to accept the terms of the setup. You enter in your area code, you hit submit, and then immediately you'll see all of the UI that I mentioned. This bubble becomes instantly available. You could start sending messages initially
Right.
on day one. One other item I do want to call out, and we've done this in the email implementation is when you are generating a conversation, we're just going to float those matter related contacts with phone numbers to the top of the list just to make things easier for you, assuming that you're going to select a contact that's in relation to this matter. You can also include firm users and additional contacts by using the dropdown or entering into the to field.
Nice.
Yeah, and in terms of the client texting, that's pretty much it for the initial one, as mentioned. Imminent release that we're looking to make a splash on before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, it definitely looks like a solid 1.0. Glad to see you guys are. I always like when development is errs on the side of what's the expression? Run fast and break things, or
Yep.
get it out, get it in the hands. Hopefully, you guys have a healthy feedback loop from your users, and you're kind of in a user. We live in a user driven development world, I guess. So that looks solid. That's great.
Yeah, and I just say, and that's something that's, as in the inception of Zola Suite, we want to ship out capabilities with high quality.
Yeah.
There's the term the minimal viable product. I love the minimal lovable product,
Mm.
where we don't want to hold back what we want to deliver for what customers need for the initial launch, and we keep it close
Right.
here to the ground. Great feedback loop. Partners like yourself, Eric, and customers alike, they're quick to let us know some areas for improvement, and that's really what's taking the product to where it is.
Very cool. Very cool. All right. That's good. All right. Moving on. What else all right. So the next thing you want to show us today is a HotDocs advanced integration.
Yep. I'm gonna
What-
just switch gears for a quick second, jump into a separate account. So the thought process for this HotDocs advanced integration, really upon the merger, was as we're looking at the capabilities in Zola Suite, and while we do have document automation, we had access to an industry-leading product in HotDocs Advanced. And really, what we're looking for here is there are a lot of firms that are using our document automation and are very happy with the capabilities. I'll compare it to a mail merge in a way where we have our own merge fields, as we call it, and you can go ahead and pop those into either a PDF or a docx template, and then have the Zola Suite data, whether it be the standard data or any of your custom fields you set up, and have that popped into your template. So, for many firms, this is perfect for them, that ease of use. But we wanted to give firms that are really heavy document-driven firms, extended capabilities, and there's no one else better than HotDocs to be able to do that. So the integration itself would require that you have a Zola license and you have a HotDocs Advanced license itself. At this point, there would be no charge to use the integration, just need to have the account access set up. The way that this is going to work is on the firm settings section. You'll be able to pop in your HotDocs Advanced credentials. Upon being integrated, you'll have access to all of your HotDocs templates or interviews. And we've come up with this concept of the mapping. And what this is you'll be able to take an interview that has maybe a slew of questions, and you'll be able to pop in areas and pop in those Zola merge fields so that we can go ahead and instantiate that, push in the Zola Suite data to remove the need to have any sort of double entry of data. And the nice thing about this, and I've seen very, very robust HotDocs templates. I actually saw a divorce template that was a huge questionnaire that a small firm had to put together. And at the very tail end, there was a visitation calendar that was outputted from HotDocs. So when I say it
Wow.
can do anything you imagine, I really do mean that.
Right.
So with this template, I'll use a very simple employment agreement template. In our dedicated HotDocs tab section, you'll be able to start the interview. And what this is going to do, it's going to pull in that HotDocs template that existing HotDocs users know, and you'll see the required information is already filled out. So the employer name, the date of agreement, it's actually pulled from the data in the background, and the employee info is already there. So really what we're thinking here is in Zola Suite, you're going to perform your intake, you're going to have your team set up the custom fields, kind of collect all that data. And with the push of a button with HotDocs and with this mapping, you'll be able to have all that if, then, and conditional logics, put together and prepare the document. And in one click, you can save that back to Zola Suite as a Zola document. And there you take advantage of any of the document management capabilities that we offer, the in-text editor or the Zola Z Drive option for additional edits at that point.
Wow. That is cool. So that is a Zola dialogue. And so you're taking the input is that a HotDocs survey that you are calling into the Zola dialogue?
Exactly. So yeah, we're inside of Zola Suite. The contents of this modal on the inside, where you see like agreement info and the outline. This is all HotDocs that's been
Wow.
drawn into the platform. And what we're doing is we're pushing those data points from the template itself, that mapping. So
Right.
the state of agreement that you see over here, I'm going to close this out,
Yeah.
is actually pulling in from the custom field.
That
So
that's a
there's no
custom
need.
Zola field.
Exactly.
Right. So,
And
wow, what kind of relationship did you have to have with HotDocs to get this going? Did they have a robust API that made this pretty accessible for you guys, or a little bit of both, maybe?
Great question. Yeah, HotDocs has a suite of APIs. I've seen some amazing things being done from partners, from clients, and their setup. So it really was. While it is an integration, and we took a really great tool and made it a part of Zola Suite with with our style. And we're very particular on how we approach the integrations. We really want it to feel as if it's an extension of Zola Suite.
Right.
I think for this initial release, we did a really good job doing so.
So, do you think this integration will transform HotDocs users' experience to spending time more administratively in HotDocs, but then kind of as an end user of HotDocs in Zola?
Yeah, I think the initial setup is the area, and that's why we have a great professional services team that can help get that ball rolling. That initial investment on the front load to just get the templates in place will eliminate the need for a staff user to go in and edit a document. You leave yourself open. I've heard some horror stories where someone forgot to change the client name from one matter to the other.
Right. Right.
Kind of
Oh
a
yeah.
phantom document, a phantom client, if I may.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so as we think of business processes and standardizations, this is a really, I think, great way. That way, you intake the data and then the template is there. It's ready to go at the click of a button. You may have to update and you can, in the interview, edit any of the data points right within the interview itself or fill out any additional items. But it keeps things clean and concise. And it eliminates the need to manage multiple documents because with HotDocs, the templates can have large statements of if then blocks.
Right.
And it can do really robust items that we'll be supporting on day one, like iterating on many of the duplicate related parties. So if you have multiple additional clients in
Right.
HotDocs, you can extract the individual contact details of the three additional parties.
Wow. Very cool. Very cool. And this looks pretty well baked. Are you in just kind of a quality testing phase of this integration?
Yeah, so we're right now we're at the home stretch, really just putting the finishing touches on the user interface. I'm getting ready. So as mentioned earlier, this is one of those items that right around the corner that I'm very excited I was able to give a quick demo on here today.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it. And the performance looks great too. So
Oh
it's
yes. And yeah, that I think that's a note to the HotDocs Advanced as a product. HotDocs has a suite of different products under that umbrella. At this point, we're looking to integrate exclusively with Advanced
because that's
as
a
it's
cloud native product as well, right?
exactly. So it was
Cloud
just
web.
really a perfect match at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's really that's the thing that that's the drum that we keep beating now is when you go to cloud and web native applications, the data portability is just there, so much of what we do, I mean, we manage a lot of clients with a lot of on-prem servers and applications now, a lot of Amicus Attorney users still out there. But yeah, the benefits of cloud apps, web apps, makes the data so portable.
Yeah, absolutely. We think with the advanced nudge, we have a lot of users that are on the classic products, and I will say that advanced and classic are really at a place now where pretty much all the functionality is already there. So this could be the nudge that can get them over into the cloud space, but we think that the interface, the experience, it'll make it seamless. That it's really a no brainer to take that leap of faith and jump onto that cloud native product.
Excellent, excellent. Is there any more on the HotDoc integration, or do you want to move on?
I think we can move on. Maybe talk a little bit about client portal.
Client portals. I love client portals.
Yeah, so I'll start on one environment. I want to talk a little bit about the different use cases for the client portal, how you can leverage that in your practice when you think of end-to-end practice management. We'll touch a little bit about how this plays with document management, as well as on the accounting side, sending out invoices and receiving payment for them. So the Zola client portal, it's something that comes standard with all Zola Suite subscriptions. You'll have access to an unbranded portal. If you're a heavy user and kind of fall in love with that portal, which we hope everyone does, we can actually have a firm branded portal that has its own web link available with the firm's logos and kind of branding, as well as mobile applications, so that you can say, download my app on iOS and
Oh,
Android.
wow.
So
Is that a per request basis, or is that user configurable or firm configurable?
There is firm configuration options in the firm settings, so you yourself can you can edit some of the notifications that are on the splash page. So when you kind of log in, you can say, like, if you want to wish your customers a happy Thanksgiving, for example, you could
What
do
about
that in Zola
branding?
Suite as an the branding. You can change the colors and the logos as well
Okay.
on your end. You wouldn't be able to go as far as changing the position of the elements, but there's a lot of flexibility that's available there for you to kind of manage that site yourself.
Okay.
And that's actually, I can jump into that.
I may have misunderstood you, because I wasn't sure if it sounded like it was like a Zola branded client portal for your firm, but you could ask Zola if you can customize it. But natively, with every user's, every firm, I guess they can upload their logo, and they have a unique URL to the client portal.
Yeah, and apologies for not being clear. So we offer an unbranded Zola client portal, which is available to everyone. And then for an additional service, we can customize that, is what we call Zola signature, for your firm, where you have your own dedicated URL and your branding associated with your portal. Even things like
Okay.
when you invite the user, it's going to have your logo on the initial invite. If you go with that approach, you'll be able to edit some of the coloring and the messaging as a Zola Suite admin at that point, but you will have to subscribe to that Zola signature service before you'd have that flexibility.
Got it. Okay, but still, without the signature service, you have a fully functional,
Yeah.
secure, private, firm-focused client portal.
Yes, absolutely. The one
Got it.
thing that you wouldn't be able to have is just the branding, but there's no loss in capabilities or the features that are available to you if you go with the general client portal.
Okay. So what can we do in the client portal?
Yeah, so in the client portal itself, just to get things started, you can share invoices or documents over to individual contacts. The important thing here is when you are sharing an invoice or a document, similarly to what I displayed on the text messaging feature set, will float kind of those matter-related contacts to the top of the list, but you can invite it to any contact. So you can share documents or invoices to anyone who's registered as a contact in your contact management system. And if this is the first time they're receiving any sort of invoice or document, there's a 2FA process. Well, they'll need to specify a code that's sent to them to their mobile device. And then there's an email where they get started and register.
The cybersecurity professional in me just tingled a little bit when you said 2FA, or multi-factor authentication. So good on you. You're maintaining a secure portal.
Thank you very much. Yeah. So once they've gotten set up, they have their own username and password that's going to give them access to their client portal. So here, as a logged in user, you'd be able to see the documents that have been shared with you. You can download them for your own personal record. And really, the important thing I do want to call out is, as a Zola user, when you share a document, you have the ability to revoke the access. So if you do that, the document is no longer accessible in their portal, and they would not see that under the shared by me.
Okay.
On the flip side, you can upload documents back to the firm from your portal, and those are going to be stored in a separate, I like to call it a bin or filter, where you can then drag that over as a Zola document, remove that access from the portal itself. So the documents that are shared with you, they go in their own area, so you can edit, review, take those, and then you can upload them as a matter document at that point and kind of graduate them from that shared file. So this, you can think of this as almost as a review area, if I may, for
Okay.
you to bring things over.
What's that Caseway title there?
Caseway is what we name our client portal. So
Oh, okay.
Caseway, you can think of it as the Zola client portal.
Okay. Okay. That's important. Okay. Excellent.
And in addition to invoices, in addition to documents, rather, you can see outstanding invoices. So if you think of a
Again,
billing
we're
cycle
looking at this as the client
as
in the
the
client
client,
portal. This
yes.
is my invoice due to my attorney.
This is yeah, as a customer, this is the invoice that your attorney has sent over to you. So
Okay.
and what's nice about this is if you are a monthly billing cycle, you haven't even paid last month or even the prior months, you're going to see all of the outstanding bills that have been shared to you on this section right over here. You
And
can
and then the client can pay direct from the
Yes.
portal.
So the client can pay directly from the portal. The only prerequisite there is that you have gone through and onboarded with our Abacus Next Payment Exchange Service that we call APX.
The firm has to go through that.
Exactly.
Okay.
The firm would just have to onboard, and we have a very easy in-app onboarding where it's like pretty much same day approvals.
Nice.
And then at that point, as the customer, you'd be able to enter in a payment method, and you can even save that payment method for
That's my next
future
question.
use.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the client doesn't have to keep entering their payment. They can securely save a payment method in there. So when an invoice comes due, they can come in there, select their payment method, pay the invoice. Are there auto pay rules? And every time my attorney sends me an invoice of less than $1,000, just auto pay it?
Not today. So
Okay.
today we're saving the payment method. That's definitely something that we're having some conversations with our customer base and seeing, what's the general use case there? How
Okay.
frequent does that come up? But I definitely envision kind of a hands-off, really, where we want to go with this is a hands-off billing approach. You kind of alluded to that earlier with texting as maybe an avenue for sending invoices, but where you have preferences set up, rules in place, and then the application can kind of take care of a lot of that heavy lift that's put on the administrative team.
Yeah, I mean, just if I can offer a personal anecdote. I mean, I own and
Please.
manage an IT company,
Mhm.
and before we had a billing and client portal, our monthly past due AR, could approach $100,000. And then we went to a billing portal, and one of the key benefits was past due reminders.
Mhm.
And as soon as this billing portal that we signed up for has a past due invoice reminder engine, is what we would call it, and you can configure the parameters in which you want to send a notice for a past due invoice. And when we first started, we sent a reminder every 30, 60, and 90 days, and that brought our AR down by 20%. And then you kind of like get into this, and every business has its own culture and ideals about how they view their customer relationship. But over time, I mean, I've been a business owner for 15 years, and over time, you can get to the point where you say, like, well, I provided a service, we don't work for free, and we have an expectation to get paid. And
Mm.
and I know that a lot of our law firm clients feel this way about their relationship with their clients. Although I do see a lot of law firms who tread very lightly when it comes to their invoicing. And so what we did was we went down to every 7 days, and then the AR came down, and then we did get some grumbling and hostile responses from customers. But then we found that over time, we were able to curate a healthier client base that was reasonably expecting to pay invoices, um,
Yeah.
for whatever that's worth.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. I think as a business, it's really hard. Like, when do you cross that line, especially with high value customers? Let them know
Yep.
as a business, you have to simply get paid. One thing I do want to call out that we do offer today. You kind of mentioned that, Eric, is the ability to filter and define who you want to send a past due notice to.
Mm.
And what we do is we offer in that bulk center. You can email customers who don't have an invoice in a certain period that is overdue. So if you've sent them a bill, let's say for last month already, and you have someone that you haven't done work on, but they do have outstanding AR, you can filter out for that client base review, even do filters based off attorneys in conjunction with practice areas or billing groups, for example. Review that list and send them an email notification of
Oh, there you
hey,
go.
you have a past due balance of X amount there.
But you guys don't have the engine to automate that, right?
To automate that. So yeah, it does require today that a user does go into the bulk billing center, perform that filter, and blast that out. But it definitely, with the end goal being that kind of hands-off approach, where you, as a business, you have that process in place. Like you mentioned, is it 60/37?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend you guys look at some sort of engine that allows the back office to build that policy as a company, right? Because law firms are companies also, and that way the back office says like this is our engine, and then it really does help a business bring that AR past due way down, and kind of helps codify that process. And then as a business manager, I can tell you that anything you can automate, you should automate. You
Absolutely.
know, so for what that's worth, also.
No, love the feedback. I really do appreciate that.
Cool. So what else can we do with the show us more client portal stuff?
Yeah, so with the portal, the only other thing, the other thing that I do want to call out, unfortunately don't have a an environment where I can kind of share that out, would be the mobile application.
All
That
right.
let me see the we have one for our founder, Fred Cohen, that is on. So yeah, just wanted to flaunt very quickly for those that are interested in the branded approach. In addition to the site that has the features that I mentioned before, you also have a very sleek looking mobile application, and you'll see over here you have the same options in being able to see the documents that are uploaded by you and shared with you, and the invoice capabilities, all baked into Android and iOS.
Wow. So through your client portal, what'd you call it? Client portal signature service.
Yes,
So through the add-on client portal signature service, the firm can get a custom app for their firm.
exactly. And,
What,
and, and we find the firms are very excited as intake to tell their customers, hey, download the Law Office of Fred J. Cohen app
Totally. I mean,
on
you definitely want that at the top of your firm's website. You definitely
Mhm.
want it if you have a billing link on your website. You want to keep advertising that on your website. Any correspondences. I mean, you'd want to put that on maybe even the footer of your email signature.
Oh, and we've seen that done in the Zola Suite signature builder. So
Definitely.
it's a really nice addition, is especially if you're a heavy user of the portal itself. And as a consumer using the app, there's some benefit there. And if you have a document that you need to sign and send back, there's a built-in scanner
Yeah.
into the app itself. So it'll convert that to PDF. It's uploaded to Zola Suite, and that's where our in-document search engine will auto OCR it. You can even send a picture, and it'll be OCR'd, and then that searchable text back into the document management system. So it really brings those different capabilities all together in one clean workflow.
Let me stand on a soapbox for a minute. For any firms listening out there, if you don't understand the importance of a client portal, the benefits and features to your business you guys are lawyers, you're law firms, you're providing valued services to your valued clients, but you're a business, and a client portal is such an extension to your business. And when you have a client portal and you present the client portal as integral to the service you're providing to your clients, you're telling the client that you care about the quality of the service that you're providing them. When a law firm doesn't have a client portal that doesn't show invoices to a client, and you're just emailing or mailing, we see a lot of firms mailing invoices.
Mhm.
And there's no way for your client to see the record of your invoices, of the work that you've done for them, your work product. There's kind of this kind of cloak and dagger, like you don't obfuscation. It's like you're trying to not be very transparent with your client. And I see that a lot. I see it a lot with my clients, my law firm clients that we consult with. I literally have attorneys saying, I don't want a client portal because I don't want my clients to see what I'm doing. I've literally had attorneys tell me that.
Oh,
And
wow.
if you're one of those attorneys, I just would hope to incentivize you to want to run a better business. And the way that you do that is with a product like Zola Suite with a client portal. So you provide, if you back your way into, okay, I'm running a law firm business and I want to provide a client portal for my clients. That's one way you would back into a practice management software like Zola Suite. Wouldn't you say, Raphael?
Yeah, and I'll second that. I think as the consumer becomes more technically adept and really sophisticated, rather, I as a consumer, it's the little things like that, and receiving electronic payment, right? There's
It's
an
exactly
expectation
correct.
as a
When
consumer.
the consumer is becoming more sophisticated, right? So me preaching about this and us talking about this is not, it's not beneficial to me. I'm trying to benefit the viewers out there to say, like, your consumer is becoming more sophisticated, is more sophisticated. We're already there. I can open my garage door with my cell phone. You know what I mean? I can pay my credit card bill with my cell phone. Like, I could see my front door camera from my cell phone. If your law firm is not allowing, and this is the other thing we didn't even touch on, secure sharing of information, right? How secure is the client portal for uploading documents? Should a law firm be telling their clients to email their financial affidavit to them?
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely not. Would not.
Absolutely not.
So
Absolutely not. Email, unless it's an encrypted email, which hopefully it is, but client portal. Well, I don't want to speak. I don't want to steal the mic, but it's secure, right?
yeah, so you have end-to-end encryption, and it's still, when you think of like that end-to-end, that all-in-one, it's still on the Zola Suite platform itself. So you haven't left Zola Suite from the point the document was shared to the customer reviewing it, uploading a new version. That's all from a securely encrypted
Right.
service itself. And the one other thing I wanted to just add, when you're thinking of a practice management solution, a Zola Suite, the beauty of all this is I'm a big believer in the crawl, walk, run theory, and that it's all there for you. So the portal to the texting, as you sharpen the axe a bit as a firm and looking to adopt these options, the signature the portal's there for you to begin with. Once you fall in love with it, you can have that signature one. We have these capabilities all at the fingertips whenever you're ready to take them on.
I love it. Sorry, I didn't mean to get preachy, but I get really enthusiastic about how these tools can help my clients, your customers,
Mhm.
these law firms run a better business.
Mhm.
It's just really important. So, all right, I think that's all the time we have for sharing. I just like to kind of walk our way out of here. A couple more questions for you. How would you describe the buying experience for Zola Suite and these features we discussed?
Yeah, definitely want to point out that we have a complimentary 10-day trial that's available to all. No credit card information necessary to get started. Really want to give firms the ability to take advantage of all of the capabilities that are present in Zola Suite. So upon launch, you're going to be able to take advantage of client texting if that's something that you'd like. And then you have a dedicated account executive that's there to conduct demonstrations. We're really seeing firms approaching a new software as a committee. So we're happy to do a front office demo for the personnel that it matters to, and maybe a separate back office demo with some of the financial team, just to really make sure that any product workflow subscription-based questions are available. We have very transparent pricing
That's the next
that's on
question. Yeah.
that's on our website. So that's always available. We have our core is priced at $59 per month. And if you go with the billed annually, Enterprise 79, and Enterprise Plus, which we see most firms gravitating towards, at 89 per user per month.
And
So
my two comments there are, whenever I see a software provider not provide a demo, full featured demo, it's always a head shaker, because what better way is there to sell your product than to get your desired customer in the product, looking at the product, testing. I mean, that's how I buy software.
absolutely.
I want to get in it. I know what my needs are. I want to start tinkering with it and seeing if my needs can be met. So that's good that you guys have a no commitments trial. and your pricing. Again, whenever I see a software company not put their pricing on their website, I just can't help but throw shade to it. It's such a legacy practice to obfuscate the pricing to try to get into a sales call and a lengthy sales process. It's just so unnecessary, especially in today's world. I mean, the value is in the product; it speaks for itself, and there's really no reason why you guys wouldn't want to just present that. So good on you for doing that too.
Thank you. Yeah, and the last thing I want to point out, and a really important piece, is just our in-house project management and data migrations team ability to kind of work with our customers on what a go live is going to look like. And we really do try to minimize that blackout period or that downtime. Understanding that a firm is a business, you can't afford to have a week where you are, running in spreadsheets and then have to hold in all that billable time. So we do a great job of really assessing the data thoroughly, getting a project plan in place so that aligns with your training to minimize that move from your legacy system to Zola Suite.
Excellent. All right, that's all I have for us today. Where should our viewers go to learn more about you and Zola Suite?
Yeah, right on our website, zolasuite.com, you'll see dedicated page for myself and the rest of our leadership team. Also sent over Eric my LinkedIn page, so feel free to connect. Reach out.
Would you like me to share your LinkedIn profile on the video?
Yeah, please do.
Okay.
And we have a team behind us that's available if anyone has any questions, product questions, questions on the subscription. We have a whole team here that's eagerly here to assist.
And you did have in our notes here, you have a G2 review that you wanted to share, right?
Oh yes, and I think I'd mentioned that earlier, that we were rated #1 on the legal practice management side for customer satisfaction, and that's there's definitely kudos to the product, but definitely want to shout out our surrounding services as well as support, training, and onboarding are also part of that scoring. And we had some data that showed that firms on a 30% faster than some of our other providers see that return on investment. That was really, really interesting.
And that's what we have for you today on EVERNET Reviews. I'm Eric Buhrendorf, CEO and Senior Consultant of EVERNET Consulting. I want to say thank you again to our guest, Raphael Lopez, Vice President of Product at Zola Suite. Thanks, everybody. EVERNET is an independent business and IT services and consulting company and does not offer any warranty or guarantee of the products or services discussed today. Any relationships formed by and between EVERNET and its clients are wholly separate from any formed with our guests and their respective companies. Please leave any comments or questions below in the show. We would love to hear your thoughts and feedback. If you have a product or service you would like us to review, please go to evernet.tv. And finally, if you would like to learn about how EVERNET can advise, support, and protect your business, please go to evernetco.com and schedule a discovery call with me personally.